Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be talking about Absolute Wonder Woman issue 8 by Kelly Thompson, Hayden Sherman and Jordi Belair. Diana of the Wild Isle returns to Earth this issue for a brand new story arc which sees Diana back in Gateway City, specifically the wilds just outside the city, which right off the bat is a really interesting thing to just reveal that this city has this huge sprawling jungle on the outskirts of it. You know, there's this huge metropolis and it's surrounded by this dense jungle forest with all of these ancient structures in it. I like the idea that the towns and cities in the Absolute Earth are so different than what we're used to as well, much like the characters, you know, they're weird and wonderful as well. Diana is in the forest because she is gathering birds and animals to help deliver messages around the world in the hopes that she can find more lost Amazons. While Diana sends her hope out into the world, we catch up with Veronica Cale, longtime Wonder Woman hater who was teased a few issues ago and looks to be the main villain of this new arc. Cale arrives at Area 41, a secret government facility where she meets with another classic Wonder Woman villain, Dr. Poison. Thompson's take on Wonder Woman's villains, both new ones and old ones, so far has been very cool. We have a nice spread of things like cosmic horrors in the Tetracide, mythical creatures in the giant basilisk snake that she fought a couple issues ago, and now we've got stock standard humans and even gods. The nice variety, and it's not just, oh, she's fighting an evil Amazonian or, you know, Ares again for the nth time. Now, Dr. Poison here is no different, or well, I mean, they are completely different than what we used to get, but that's the point, as we find out that they are trapped in a special containment suit, as the villain isn't just like some physical person, they are made out of a caustic cloud of poison. Cale meets with Poison, whom they have imprisoned in a lab in the basement of Area 41, learning that the villain wants a new, less clunky suit so she can work on her experiments better, showcasing that the hands don't really work all that well since they're too big and cumbersome. Cale knows that they are working on getting her a new suit, but the appearance of Wonder Woman takes precedence over everything, including Poison's demands. Now, this is such a cool idea for Dr. Poison, turning them into a literal poison cloud via, I guess, science experiments gone wrong. It's never really made clear, but it looks like they've been in this form for a very long while, especially because she mentions that the suit she's wearing is a relic from World War II, so I don't know whether that means she was in the suit during World War II, since usually that's like Dr. Poison's thing, they're like World War II era, or whether it was just something that has been laying around that she had to inhabit for a time being. It's also interesting they aren't outrightly a villain, they are being held against their will and forced to work for Veronica Cale and Area 41. Knowing what we know about Diana and how she wants to help out the world and, you know, try and help villains whenever they give them the chance, she doesn't want to turn directly to violence, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a redemption arc to be had for Dr. Poison, or Diana will help her escape Cale and Area 41, or something like that will probably happen. On top of Wonder Woman's appearance, Cale has a recording Poison needs to listen to, turning on a recorder that plays the sound of the Tetracide. Cale is looking for Poison to have this weaponized, wanting her to find out a way that they can use it against Wonder Woman and the other threats that pop up. The thing is, Poison is actually more than happy to look at it, and I guess this is kind of like goes into like the, you know, inquisitive mind of like a genius here, where they're interested in like what this new thing is that has been presented to them, and they want to kind of take it apart and find out how it works and why it works. And I imagine that's more the reason than like hurting people that Poison wants to actually do this, especially because once she actually gets the recording, she seems quite obsessed with it and like wants to like get to work on it right away. Cale here is quite interesting because she feels like she's a bit more of her like old school counterpart, like she feels like she's a bit more of a scientist, or like, you know, not really a corporate tycoon because she's working with the government and it's just like an agent, but there's that kind of science aspect to her, whereas in recent years she's been kind of rebranded as like just this like corporate tycoon businesswoman that Wonder Woman has to fight, especially in the most recent iterations of her, but this feels more like Greg Rucka's original character from the early 2000s, where she was like into the pharmaceuticals and science area of stuff. So I imagine that's where they're going to go with this character in this universe, and it kind of makes sense as well. She wants to like utilize all of these things we've seen, like the Tetracide and Dr. Poison, to like create things that can be used as weapons of war, or, you know, I guess like with Dr. Poison making poisons and stuff to sell to countries or use for the US military. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Thompson does with the character, especially because it feels like Veronica hasn't really gotten like a good storyline outside of like the Greg Rucka stuff. It feels like people seem to forget she's an actual Wonder Wonder Woman villain. Kale learns that Dr. Poison has requested to go topside to collect more soil samples, and Kale gives her a pass on the condition that she goes with some armed guards. Elsewhere in the forest of Gateway City, Steve Trevor, Barbara Ann Minerva, Etta Candy, and Gia all arrive at Diana's location, spotting the ancient stone monuments all around the area, which Diana is quick to warn Barbara and the others not to touch, since these have been untouched by human hands and she needs them to remain that way for just a little bit longer. So this feels like Thompson kind of setting Barbara up to eventually touch something that she probably shouldn't have, and it will end up cursing her, turning her into Cheetah. She seems to have a habit of, touching things, not listening to authority, and being just kind of overly enthusiastic about ancient artifacts, so much so that it's probably going to get her in trouble. As the group meet up, we learn that Diana actually owns all of this forest, something Etta knows is worth actually a couple of $1 million. So it turns out Diana owns a company called Hecate Holdings LLC, something which is implied to have maybe been set up by the gods readying for Diana's arrival, being that this is kind of like the whole thing with Diana where like they have been preparing for eons for her arrival, preparing Hecate has been preparing things like Cersei and like giving her all the stuff that she needs to help prepare Diana to go to Earth, and obviously she's been doing that to Earth as well with this company. And that's a really damn cool idea, because obviously over the years they've tried to do things like this with Diana where she has that like job or thing in man's world that kind of keeps her here. So she's done stuff, she's been like a secretary, she's been an author, a secret agent at one point, I think, just like all these different roles, and an ambassador of course. So I imagine this is obviously going to be a role for her. I'm wondering if she's going to end up fulfilling, because out of the trinity of heroes here, the Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, none of them actually have money, or like Batman isn't the billionaire playboy we're used to seeing Bruce Wayne as, and I'd love for that to become what Diana becomes in this world now that she has this company that might be worth millions, maybe billions. That'd be really cool to see her actually become the one with the money and be the one who in the near future maybe sponsors a Justice League or something in some way. Soon the group have to split up again as Diana needs to work on her ritual that requires focus. Of course, Barbara Ann wants to stay and watch, but Steve ushers her away, something which upsets Barbara since she doesn't want to follow orders, wanting to investigate and quiz Diana on everything around them. Again, this is more just subtle foreshadowing for what's to come for Barbara. She's going to touch something, do something, say something that will end up getting her cursed. Diana, meanwhile, begins the ritual, offering up some of her own blood to Hecate and some of the other goddesses as the pillars around the clearing begin to move, sprouting up like trees to create the Hieron, a stone structure that will act as Diana's base of operations. So this is, again, another really cool addition to Wonder Woman's new repertoire here, and almost immediately, like upon seeing this big white building that has these big arches and sprung up out of the ground, I immediately think the Hall of Justice, because it looks so much like the Hall of Justice. It just looks a little bit different, but you can still see the that same shape is there. And again, how cool would it be if Diana becomes the one who sets up the Justice League, is the one who funds it, gives them a base of operations here? That'd be really damn cool. Diana invites the others in for some tea, but their time together doesn't last long again as Diana hears a noise none of the others can seem to hear, forcing her to race off to investigate. Wonder Woman heads to Union Square inside Gateway City, finding the people are being attacked by small robot spiders, which are screaming a sound Diana recognizes is strikingly similar to the Tetracide sound. So this is a really neat bit of continuity here, as this was the event that we saw in the free comic book day Absolute Universe story with Mirror Master, who is actually at this event watching Diana from some of the reflections. I like we are getting to see this as an actual part of the Wonder Woman book, an actual part of the plot. Like, it wasn't just some special thing in that free comic book day issue that maybe gets referenced here. Like, it's an actual thing that's going to be happening in the storyline. Diana gets to work saving the people from the robots, crushing them and throwing them against the buildings as she tells the people to run. To ensure the robots don't target anyone else, Diana retrieves a vial from her magic bag, telling it the robots only see her as a threat as she smashes it, causing all of the robots to turn their attention to her. Now this is such MMO RPG bullshit here. Like, Diana literally casts the spells that aggroes all of the mobs to her. It's just so fucking cool. We have a magical Wonder Woman here who is able to use magic. She's got literally a bag of holding full of magical tricks. She knows spells. It's just such a win for the character. And I know I say that across every review I've done for this book so far, but it's just such a refreshing and interesting dynamic for the hero. It just instantly makes her more interesting exciting and refreshing. Diana immediately regrets gaining the attention of all of the robots as they swarm her. She is able to throw them off by doing, the classic Wonder Woman spin, which is really quite cool, and she smashes them all to bits. She begins to hone in on the signal she's been hearing this entire time, finding it comes from a nearby construction site. Wonder Woman smashes into the building, angry someone is weaponizing something as terrible as the Tetratriad and then using it to attack an innocent city. Wonder Woman soon comes in contact with Dr. Poison, who before Diana can attack, tells the hero that she knows where Wonder Woman can find another Amazon and just wants to talk with the hero. I said earlier in the review that Poison would be given some sort of redemption arc, and I feel this might be the beginning of it. Or we could be in for some sort of long game con by Kale, and this is all part of a plan to lure Diana in close so she can take her out. Diana getting to be so interactive with her villains is really quite great as well, and I'm really interested to see how Diana handles a threat that is a little bit more grounded. Like, this isn't a god or a cosmic horror, this is just a gas person in a suit. This is just like a normal person, more or less. It's a hell of a lot less than a giant horror monster that makes people kill themselves when it screams at them, so I'm looking forward to seeing how Diana deals with that and deals with a threat that has more of an actual sentience to it as well, and that's something that I can actually think and be reasoned with. Absolute Wonder Woman issue 8 was a fantastic beginning to a new arc for Diana, finally returning us to the Earth for a while and setting up some new really cool things for Wonder Woman again, like giving her a base and the support group of characters as well as some new spells, all of which she's never had at all before, so this is all new refreshing territory for Diana of the Wild Isle. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.